Yes, this is one of my favorite stories. It's called Rules Classes. Railroad operation rules tests are very important, since not complying to some rules can be deadly, such as going past a red signal, sleeping or being intoxicated on the job, not slowing down for a slow order, moving the train without a signal, not applying handbrakes on unattended cars, and many others. Most railroaders understand those rules and comply nearly 100% of the time. Back in the day, there were rules pertaining to 16 different whistle signals before everyone had a portable radio. I was called into Seattle's King Street Station to attend my first rules class since my hiring out class. I was hungover and struggling with the test, not marking any of the answers concerning whistle signals. One by one, the 15 other people in the class had their tests scored, all of them passing and leaving. The rules examiner came over to my desk and reviewed the questions and answers to the ones I had completed. I had done pretty well. However, there were several I did not answer, and he read them to me one by one. They were all multiple choice, mostly concerning whistle signals. He would ask me a question and wait for me to answer. I would make my guess, and if I was right, I marked the test. If I was wrong, which I was on about half of them, he would tell me the correct answer and explain the signal to me until he was sure I understood. Then I would mark the test. At the end of the test, he told me, "I could see you had a long night, and it might be wise to study and rest up before you get tested next time. Thank you, sir." I soon after got sober, and the following 38 years I took about 100 rules tests concerning train operations, passing all of them without hoping or expecting any spoon feeding from an examiner. For many years working Amtrak, we had what they called block training, where they would bring employees from other crew bases in the Northwest of all crafts together for classes such as diversity and first aid training, and then separate us for individual craft training. The train conductors and locomotive engineers having train operation classes and tests together. One year, the rules examiner for train operation, who was from the locomotive engineer craft, did the formalities class with all the crafts, explaining the week-long block training process and introducing each employee to the class while requesting they say where they are from, their craft and years of service, and anything else they would like to add. After an introduction, he says, "On the Amtrak, the locomotive engineer is the most important person on the train," as he puffed out his chest a little bit. He looked at me and said, "Wouldn't you agree to that?" I looked him straight in the eye and responded, "In theory, that is correct. However, I can tell you many stories when that was not the case." A few years later, I was attending the customary rules class with the same instructor. While there was usually 2 or 3 ladies in class from the passenger train conductor craft and the passenger train locomotive crafts, that year there were none. We took 3 tests concerning train operations and safety rules governing our crafts, and it was the one and only time I aced all 3, 100% correct. As the rules instructor looked over the 3rd test, he looked up and said, "This is not like you. You usually miss 2 or 3 questions." I said, "Look around this classroom," I replied. As he did, he said, "What? Do you see any ladies?" He came right back with, "No distractions."